Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. These words of Jesus, spoken during the Sermon on the Mount, capture the heart of what it means to live a life of visible faith. They are not a call to self-promotion or public performance, but an invitation to live so authentically, lovingly, and righteously that God's goodness becomes unmistakable through everyday actions. Jesus speaks to his followers not about what they should say alone, but about how they should live, because light is seen, not merely described. Light is one of the most powerful and universal symbols known to humanity. Light reveals, guides, warms, and gives life. Darkness, by contrast, hides, confuses, and isolates. When Jesus speaks of light, he is speaking about truth, love, and the presence of God expressed through human lives. To let one's light shine is to allow God's transforming work within to be visible outwardly. Jesus begins this teaching by declaring that his followers are the light of the world. He does not say they must become light through effort or perfection. He states it as identity. This light does not originate from human goodness alone, but reflects the light of God within them. Just as the moon reflects the sun, believers reflect God's character through their lives. This teaching immediately challenges a private or hidden faith. Light, by its nature, cannot be concealed. Jesus emphasizes that no one lights a lamp and hides it under a basket. Faith is not meant to be secretive or confined to personal spirituality alone. It is meant to be lived openly, naturally, and consistently in the world. Not in a way that draws attention to self, but in a way that points unmistakably to God. The phrase "before others" does not suggest seeking approval or applause. Instead, it acknowledges that people are always watching how faith is lived. Actions often speak louder than words. A life shaped by integrity, compassion, humility, and generosity becomes a testimony more powerful than arguments or debates. Jesus specifically mentions good deeds. These are not random acts of kindness disconnected from faith. They are the visible expression of God's love working through human hands and hearts. Good deeds include feeding the hungry, comforting the broken, forgiving those who hurt us, standing for justice, speaking truth with love, and living with honesty even when it costs something. However, Jesus is careful to clarify the purpose of these deeds. The goal is not that others may praise the individual, but that they may glorify your Father in heaven. This distinction is crucial. Light that points to self becomes pride. Light that points to God becomes worship. True Christian witness is not about building personal reputation, but revealing God's character. This teaching holds a beautiful tension. On one hand, believers are called to live visibly. On the other hand, they are called to live humbly. The light shines not because someone is trying to shine, but because love, truth, and grace naturally radiate from a transformed life. When faith is authentic, it cannot help but be seen. Letting your light shine requires intentionality. It involves daily choices that reflect God's values. In moments of temptation, choosing integrity allows light to shine. In moments of conflict, choosing forgiveness reflects light. In moments of success, choosing gratitude and humility magnify light. These moments, though often unnoticed by the world, accumulate into a powerful witness. This teaching also reminds believers that they are not responsible for changing hearts. That is God's work. Their role is to shine faithfully. When others see good deeds done in love, curiosity is sparked, questions are raised, hearts are softened, and God is glorified, not through coercion, but through attraction. Jesus' words also challenge hypocrisy. Light exposes inconsistency. A life that claims faith but lacks love creates confusion rather than clarity. Jesus consistently confronted religious behavior that looked impressive outwardly but lacked inward transformation. Letting your light shine begins with sincerity, allowing God to shape the heart before the actions. In a world often marked by cynicism and mistrust, genuine goodness stands out. Acts of kindness done without expectation, generosity shown without recognition, and compassion offered without judgment shine brightly against the darkness of selfishness and indifference. These acts quietly declare that God is real and active. This teaching also addresses fear. Many people hesitate to live out their faith openly because they fear rejection, criticism, or misunderstanding. Jesus acknowledges this risk, yet he still calls his followers to shine. Light is not aggressive or forceful, it is steady and consistent. It does not argue with darkness, it dispels it simply by being present. Letting your light shine does not mean being perfect. Perfection is intimidating and unattainable. Light shines most clearly through humility and authenticity. Admitting mistakes, seeking forgiveness, and continuing to grow reflect God's grace more powerfully than flawless behavior. When people see transformation rather than perfection, God is glorified. This teaching also has communal implications. Light is stronger together. Jesus speaks to a community, not just individuals. When believers live collectively in love, unity, and service, the light becomes impossible to ignore. Communities shaped by grace become beacons of hope in broken societies. Jesus lived this teaching fully. His life was a constant outpouring of light. He healed the sick, welcomed the outcast, defended the weak, and loved sacrificially. His actions revealed the Father's heart more clearly than words ever could. Ultimately, his greatest act of light was the cross, where love shone brightest in the darkest moment. Following Jesus means reflecting that same light. It means allowing his life to flow through ordinary routines, work, family, relationships, and challenges. Faith becomes woven into daily life, not compartmentalized into religious moments alone. This teaching also speaks to purpose. Many people search for meaning and direction. Jesus provides clarity. Live in a way that reveals God. Every act of love becomes significant. Every choice towards goodness matters. Life is no longer random. It becomes a living testimony. Let your light shine is not a burden, it is a privilege. It means participating in God's work of redemption and restoration. It means being a source of hope in despair, clarity in confusion, and kindness in cruelty. It means living with awareness that God's love reaches others through human lives. The promise attached to this teaching is subtle but profound. When God is glorified, joy increases. Those who live for God's glory discover a deeper fulfillment than those who live for self. There is freedom in knowing that life's purpose is not self-centered success, but God-centered love. This call is timeless. In every generation, the world needs light. Darkness changes its form, but light remains the answer. Jesus' words continue to invite believers to live courageously, compassionately, and faithfully. To let your light shine is to live aligned with truth, motivated by love, and anchored in hope. It is to trust that God uses even small acts of goodness to accomplish great purposes. It is to believe that a life lived faithfully speaks louder than 1,000 words. And when others see that light, not forced, not artificial, but genuine and grace-filled, they are drawn not to the person, but to the Father in heaven, whose love shines through every good deed.